Hey, what's going on, Who That Nation? It is your truly TJ Jones, the host of the State of the Saints podcast. And I have a special guest with me here on the State of the Saints podcast. My guest spent 7 years in the National Football League. He played with the Miami Dolphins, Tennessee Titans, the Jets, and also had a stint with the New Orleans Saints. I'm talking wide receiver Rishard Matthews. Rishard, what's going on, man?
What's going on, man? How you doing? Appreciate you having me.
Man, thanks for being here, and thank you for being on the State of the Saints podcast to share your story. I've been watching some of the things that you're doing on social media, man. I mean, you're skateboarding, you're knocking people out,
Yeah.
So I mean, what made you first off, what made you get into boxing, man? I see you in the ring.
It's something that I use as training. I tell everybody, man, if you're trying to get in shape, start boxing. You learn your body, you learn movements and things like that. But
Right.
Those guys are in tip top shape. It's tough. It's a full body exercise. I've always been doing it. So those guys they got a guns down, gloves up movement. I always kind of watch the YouTube in the garage as I work out.
Right.
And they just so happen to be in Miami. And it's a guy, this Mighty Mouse on UFL.
Mm-hmm.
He travels around different hoods, and he tries to find beef, and he tries to get the guys to put on gloves so it doesn't result in it doesn't result to other things.
Yeah.
So and then they just so happen to be in Miami, and I just went down there, and you just show up and get on the card. So that's what we did.
Okay, man, that's dope, man. And also with skateboarding, man.
Yeah.
Have you skateboarded your whole life, or is it something that you got into?
No, it's because I'm a military brat. So military, you get somewhere every you're moving around all the time. You get caught for 2 years, and you got to go somewhere else. Your dad gets orders, you got to go over here, go over there, and I just been fortunate enough to run into different types of kids along the way and learn different types of things. There's been areas where I've been the only black kid around, and there's been other areas, and in those areas I've been the only black kid. You gotta kind of fit in, and as you get it, get it as you get it. So I learned skate, bike, rollerblade, do all those things out of the ordinary,
Yeah, that's dope, man. I mean, seems like, you're spending your time, in retirement, you're making the best of it. But man, let's go ahead and talk about, your time in the National Football League. Now, Rishard, for a person to get to the point that you got to, I mean, it had to be something that transpired, and just, over the course of your career, I just want to kind of just backtrack a tad bit before we talk about your time with the New Orleans Saints. I understand it's the State of the Saints, but I want to let everybody know and introduce you to a lot of people that may not know your story. So let's go ahead and backtrack, man. I mean, let's start at the University of Nevada, all right? In 2012, you're a 7th-round pick. You get drafted by the Miami Dolphins. Take us to 2012, a young Rishard Matthews getting that phone call from the Miami Dolphins. What was going through your mind at that time?
It's crazy, man. I was some things that happened, so I thought I was gonna go a little earlier. I was told that, and but so I don't know. It was just all feelings all over the place, and I had kind of accepted I wasn't gonna get drafted. You get to the 7th round, you're like, man, it's getting towards the end. You're like, so I'm getting a chip on my shoulder, like, all right, cool, because I'm all about competing. When there's competition, I go get it. So New England had called me. They said they're gonna call me back. I figured they're gonna bring me in as free agency. Seattle called me. They said they're gonna call me back. I thought they're gonna draft me. And then next, the Dolphins called and they actually put the pick in. So, that's how that happened. And next, I was going to Miami. So I mean, it's good. I mean, my road's been, my story's long, man. We ain't got enough time for that story, but my story's all over the place. The fact that I even got the opportunity to go to the National Football League and play, and put myself in a position to take care of my family is everything. And the Dolphins gave me that opportunity by giving me that phone call.
Yeah, I mean, no doubt about it. I mean, I knew it had to be a dream come true, man. Something that you worked your entire life for. You finally, I mean, you're living a dream. You're in the National Football League, and you're a part of the Miami Dolphins. How was your time there, man? Did you enjoy your time in Miami? I mean, what was the experience like?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I live here now. That's where I live now. I met my wife my 2nd year. Miami's Miami. You know what I'm saying? You can make the best of it, or it can hurt, or it can make you or break you. You feel me? So luckily I got my head together my second year and started, going down the right path as far as, transitioning, being ready, not spending all my money and things like that.
Right.
But Miami was fun. But in the league, you come in there as a seventh rounder. The reality of the league is what kind of struck me there. That's where it kind of started. You kind of see the political side of things, and it's not really the best kind of compete and play. You feel me? It's like guys kind of already have their favorites and things like that. So that's at a young age I've always known, but just to step into it and really see how it worked. Unfortunately, so like I said, being a seventh rounder, it was rough. It was rough. You had to get it where you can get it. So.
Yeah, I mean, I understand. I mean, being a 7 round pick, I mean, there's a lot of competition, and especially, I mean, there's nothing is really, a guarantee, especially when you're going that late. But there was a report that said that you missed a voluntary workout, and you were unhappy with your role on the team at the time. That was the reason why you missed it. Is there any truth behind that? I mean, what exactly happened that led to you actually missing that voluntary workout?
So. It wasn't I missed a voluntary workout. We had drafted Devontae, and I went and cleaned out my locker that night, and I told him to release me because I feel if you know me and the players I played with, I'm gonna keep it real. Everybody's moved on for their situations, everybody's living their life, whatever. So I can keep it real, but I'm all about competition. At the end of the day, if I would. Going into that year, I think we had Mike Wallace, Brian Hartline, and Jarvis.
Right.
And then so I'm talking myself into be the fourth. I had a decent first year. I'm like, okay, cool. I've proven whatever. So, and then we drafted Devontae. So then I'm like, damn, that automatically makes me the 5. So I'm like, man, you got 4 guys that you're paying, and you got this guy that you're paying $300,000 to. Everybody else you're paying millions of dollars, and then you just draft a first rounder, 14, 15 pick. Nothing against those guys, but what's the reality of myself getting a fair shot at playing unless I just go ball? You know what I'm saying? So I always bet on myself. So, I'll take my chances. Hey, put me on the open market. You can release me because a team will pick me up. I'm not a bad guy. I've never been in trouble off the field. I've never, I call myself a tone setter. Wherever I'm at, I show the young guys, I show everybody how to catch the ball, finish, all that stuff. I go do my job. You know what I'm saying? I show up, I compete, I block. I'm an all-around receiver, Right. So that happened, but they didn't want to release me. I think it was Coach Philman and them at that time. I forgot who was the GM. But they didn't want to release me. They knew if they released me, then whatever. So then it was a good and bad thing that I did that. It was a bad thing because when you do these things in the league, you get viewed as you don't want to compete. You're afraid of the competition, or because they cemented this code that we got to live by in this league. That if you don't live by it, then you're not. You got to be either for the shield, or you're either for the shield or you're against the shield. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So if they mark that on your back, then sometimes you have a rougher path. So and then you get viewed as you're not a team guy. When if you know me, you don't know me, but people who know me, I talk to the people that people don't talk to. I don't care about the higher ups. I talk to the people who are cooking the food. I talk to the people who are taking out the trash. I talk to everybody. You know what I'm saying? Everybody. I don't care about talking to no GM or owners. I don't care about them like that. I care about the people that actually make us go. The people that most people just walk past on a daily basis. They don't even nod head or give them a hello in the morning.
Yeah.
So you get viewed as that. But the good thing about doing that was I said I want open competition. So I put people on notice, like saying like, hey man, sometimes when you have favorites, Devontae was coming in there. Like I said, Devontae's my boy. He knows what's up.
Right.
But he was coming in there. They got to play him. Why are you going to get a first rounder and not play him? First rounders, they don't got to do no special teams. They don't have to do nothing. You can go in there and drop the ball a whole bunch of times. You can go in there and be hurt, whatever. You gonna play because we just gave you $10 million. You know what I'm saying? Like we ain't gonna release you. You know how it is. Right. So that happened. But then luckily, it's crazy because we ended up firing Joe Philbin and Coach Campbell. We had Coach Campbell at the time, which was tight end, for the Saints, and he's all about competition. He doesn't care who you are, and they let us compete. You let me compete with the best out there, it is what it. I'm gonna make my point, and that's what happened. We competed. I ended up winning the starting role, and then I ended up breaking my ribs, and then no.
Yeah.
That was that was when that happened because that was my fourth year. I ended up breaking my ribs, and
Mm-hmm.
then I ended the season winning the free agency. But I was
Yeah.
leading the team. I was leading the team in receiving before that. So
Yeah. I mean, you talk about it, man. We got Devontae Parker in your team. You got Jarvis Landry. I mean, those are guys that were high draft picks, and I can understand how you feel, man. Like kind of, especially they want those guys to play because I mean they invested so much in those guys.
exactly.
Last question about Miami. Okay, do you feel like where do you feel like your role was? Do you feel like you should have been like in that top 3 rotation? You think you should have been, around, number 5 receiver? Like, what spot do you feel like you should have been in at that time? If you can just judge based on the wide receiver room, where do you feel like you fit?
Top 3 rotation. Every receiver room I've been in, I should have been top 3 rotation. Period. And then when I have done that, that's where you can see the numbers in my stats. So when I am that, you can see my numbers there, and then when I'm not, it's different. You get what I'm saying? Right. So because it's all about opportunity as a receiver in the league, that's why people think receivers are divas. Well, you need a coordinator who likes you. You need a quarterback who likes you. You need a coordinator who draws up the correct plays in there for you, and sometimes you need a head coach or coaches in general who like you because they're in charge of who they put in during practice, who gets those plays that we're gonna call throughout the week. You get what I'm saying? So, but I've never been a yes master, no master type guy. You feel me? And that's been my problem in the league. When I got to the league, I thought it was everybody you compete, you play, but when you get there, if you're not a yes master, no master type guy, keep everybody in check type guy, you get labeled as a problem. Kind of like my boy Kaepernick. You get what I'm saying? Yeah, right. Most well-rounded individual, but they could make or break you. It's an organization. You get what I'm saying? That like if you for us or against us, you better pick because if you're against us, we're gonna make you against us.
Right.
And I don't move. How can you explain it? I'm different. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, you build different. I got you.
Yeah. I move my own path, and I'm all about respect. Like I said, I treat people how I want to be treated, and I look at like, okay, how are you treating the guy who's not going to play? Okay, because that's showing me your real character. Not just how you treating the superstars, how you treating the guys that's not going to play. So therefore, that's always been my I guess the things that would get me kind of in trouble with people because then they show their real character towards me, and that's it. So I put myself in kind of a bad scenario. Everything's on me. I take full responsibility for everything I did. But so yeah, that's what happened in Miami, and then that's kind of what hurt me. They wanted to take me back, but they wanted me for a cheaper price, and then Tennessee offered me a higher price, and I took it right away.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen those reports about they want them wanting to bring you back. I mean, it looks like they understood that the role that you can play with the team. But you did decide to go to Tennessee, and you had your best number statistically, man. Your first year with the Tennessee Titans, you had almost 1,000 yards receiving. Yeah. And also in your second year, you still had the second most receiving yards you had in your career. So what was the difference between being in Miami and being in Tennessee? I mean, that brought you to success, and it seemed like you were on an uptick. So what was the difference between the two, and what was different about Tennessee?
You get the opportunity. I was, they paid me the money, so they gave me the opportunity. You get what I'm saying? And I mean, I was trying to find the video you put, but when you was talking about something about no more celebrations of touchdowns in my exit post, you talking about where they at. Right. My stats speak for themselves now. They ain't too many people who scored 9 touchdowns that played in the league, in one season. And given that season, if you look at that season, we just had signed Andre Johnson 2 weeks before. Right. And then they made him rotate with me. So I got 9 touchdowns based off of rotating with Andre the first 8 weeks of the season. Because every scenario, it's been the same thing. I'm not a flashy guy. So I'm not going to catch a ball and break 50 yards, full sprint. I don't look like I'm moving fast on film. But every time people guard me, they're like, man, you look way faster because I do everything smooth. I just know how to get open. You know what I'm saying? I just know how to perfect my craft. And that's what I always did. And I always knew how to go crack safeties. I don't got a problem with it. I don't got a problem blocking in the run game. Certain things. I'm an all-around receiver. But when I went to Tennessee, that was I've always clicked with every quarterback I've had. I've always clicked with them. And me and Marcus clicked right away and got the opportunity. And shoot, I mean, you give me the opportunity when I played, ain't no telling when I was going to score. So,
yeah. I mean, like I said, your first 2 years, I mean, it was some of the best numbers that you put up in your NFL career. And then we move on to year 3 and year 4. And it seemed like there was some issues, man, about, your production once again. And the focus was offensive coordinator Matt LaFleur, who is now the head coach of the Green Bay Packers. And it seemed like you and him were not on the same page. So what was going on with Matt LaFleur? What was going on between you two? What was the disconnect in your relationship?
So I'm a bigger build receiver. I'm a big body receiver, but I can run all the routes in the route tree. I mean, obviously, you might not put me in to run no deep bomb every 5 seconds, but right. I can run all the routes in the route tree. And I run them crisp and I can block. I'm a guy that you don't have to take out. You get what I'm saying? And then the defense can't expect what's coming, Yeah. Matt LaFleur got there, and he likes what dudes look like in shorts running. Right. So I already had, mind you, I had led the team in receiving the first 2 years at Tennessee easily, right? Mm-hmm. So the third year, you know what I'm saying? I shouldn't have to be battling no starting spot, correct? And I mean, that's just usually how it works, with no young guys that haven't done anything yet, that haven't even gone 3 touchdown season yet. You know what I'm saying? So
hold on. Let me ask you this though. So you feel like if because of the first 2 years that you were in Tennessee, you put up those numbers, you felt like you should have been in a different position, that you didn't have to compete as much as you did? You felt like you already pretty much solidified yourself as being a top receiver on the team?
Yes. Okay. That's everywhere. That's everywhere. If Mike Thomas on the Saints, if he gets hurt and he doesn't do so I hurt my Achilles, right? Mm-hmm. I hurt my Achilles and I couldn't do OTAs. So Coach LaFleur never saw me play. But even in the scheme that he was putting me in, like I said, I'm not a flashy guy. I'm not, what I'm saying? I'm not all those things that people like to see with dudes in shorts. You know what I'm saying? That's what happens a lot. Guys come in shorts to OTAs and they can run routes, but then they get them pads on. It's a different ball game. You get what I'm saying? And how are you? So I hurt my Achilles and I was just battling my Achilles. Then I messed up my knee and I had to have knee surgery real fast. But I came back in time for the first game and I'm thinking, okay, I should be able to start, the first game or whatever, or if anything, put me in there. But I'm rotating, you know what I'm saying? A lot, you know what I'm saying? Rotating a lot. I can't even get my groove back because you rotate me so much, which is fine. Mm-hmm. So the second game happened and, I should be starting by the second game now. You know what I'm saying? I didn't do anything to lose once again, I didn't do anything, but I had an injury, but I came back with my injury full force and I had a new coach come in. That's what happened. Right. I had a new coach come in who we have Rishard Matthews. He ain't no big name. He ain't no superstar in the league, right? Mm-hmm. So he's been leading this team in receiving, but I don't care about that. You understand? Whereas that's not how it flies on other teams. You get me? But if you bring in somebody who gets to control stuff, then it flies like that. So I'm a big 3-strike guy. You give me 3 strikes, I don't care who you are, the owner, whatever, 3 strikes, that's a wrap. Where a lot of people don't move like that because us as African Americans in the league, we're placed in positions where we need this check. You know what I'm saying? Where else are you going to play a game for this amount of money? You get what I'm saying? So at that point in my career, I've made comfortable money to where I don't really have to follow. I would say I don't have to follow the rules, but I don't have to be that yes master, no master, person you want me to be. That all these individuals at the top that are in ownership and coaches. That's why there's not a lot of, in my opinion, that's why I think that they don't have a lot of black, certain things that's a different topic, but there's a reason why certain African Americans aren't holding positions that they should be holding in the league because it's a business that's ran by people that don't look like us. But that's here nor there. But I'm saying that LaFleur came in there and the second game of the season, I was the same thing. I was rotating. He had me they were putting me on little flat routes like block and going to the flats over and over. Where it was a buildup where even in the position rooms, the meeting rooms, he kept doing that. And I'm like, yo, I even went to his office and told him like, hey man, I can do this stuff. And he told me, oh, pull up the film from doing it before. Because I said, hey man, just watch the film, which you should have already done your homework before you got to this team. You know what I'm saying? And knowing that type of stuff. And then so when I say, hey man, just watch the film, I can do all the routes that you're trying to tell me to do because he's trying to say I'm gonna mess up timing with the quarterbacks and based off of he doesn't think I move that fast. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I'm like,
Yeah.
all the routes that you're putting in the playbook, mind you, these are one-on-one meetings we've had, and the thing he's telling me in my face, yeah, but there's timing and routes and da-da. But again, if you think that this Rishard Matthews isn't no top big league, you can talk to him however you want. You get what I'm saying? So, and I'm telling you, like, bro, all the routes that it's a copycat league. Everybody runs the same routes. You get what I'm saying? Everybody runs the same routes. It's a copycat league. I'm telling you, I've scored. I just went 9 touchdowns. You get what I'm saying? I just went 9 touchdowns, 4, and I got hurt. I tore my hamstring in a couple of those weeks. That's why I only have 4 touchdowns. And with the same routes that you're calling, you know, like, what are you talking about? You know? So we get to week 2. I don't start. Whatever, cool. All right, fine. We get to week 3. I don't start. Same thing. That was strike 3. Then I left, and that was it.
Yeah, I mean, look, so before we end this, I guess this battle between you and Matt LaFleur, do you really believe that he just had some type of personal vendetta against you? Do you think that he was trying to use you as an example because you were the leading receiver 2 years before he actually came? Do you feel like he was kind of like just trying to, you know, just use you to say that anybody is expendable, or do you just feel like, you know, I don't think personally like you?
I don't think any of my situations were personal. They're all my decisions, and that's why, you know, I have a kid now. I you know, I'm training him to play. I have 3 kids, and I'm training, you know, them to do their thing. But I was never taught how to control those situations where it comes to authority, like thinking like whatever. I was always just taught respect. If I feel like I'm disrespected, and they can ask anybody that's played with me, if I feel like I'm disrespected, it's a wrap. I don't care who you are. So I feel like Coach LaFleur was disrespecting me by not starting me 3 games, and Vrabel not starting me 3 games, or even giving me the opportunity to go out there and make certain plays 3 games. Yeah. Right. 3 games. What other receiver leading team and does that? Julian Edelman. I'm not comparing myself to him. This guy got off an injury. He started the first game he came back. The first pass went to him. You get what I'm saying? But that's people that show respect. That okay, we respect that individual. You solidified your spot. In which Tennessee, I was one of the reasons why when me, DeMarco, all that class came in, we were one of the reasons why we turned that whole program around. They were like 2-14 and whatever. You know what I'm saying? So, you know that. So, like I said, again, it's the same situation that I've been put in. I could have stayed and bit my tongue and still, yes, sir. But I'm not the type of guy that if you walk past me and disrespect me, I'm gonna go have breakfast with you the next morning. I don't do that, you know, because at the end of the day, and that's what these guys do. You know, at the end of the day, they don't care about you. I mean, they don't care about us. You know, like they don't care, like all this stuff. Like, you know, and I don't want to get that deep, but like, you know, they don't care. You know what I'm saying? They don't care about, you know, what we look like. All this stuff is just for whatever. You know what I'm saying? Do what they got to do to keep us controlled and not, you know, whatever. Because we run stuff, but until we figure that out, which is not going to be later on, then, you know, things will change. But other than that. And that's how I've always operated like that, and I've always seen that. So therefore, Matt LaFleur did that, all that stuff, and Vrabel. So I was cool with the GM. I talked with, you know, me and Robinson, John Robinson was always cool, and he was trying to tell me, you know, is there anything we can do? The phone call I had with him before I even left, and I was like, nah, man, I'm not about to go be fake with this dude. I talked with him one-on-one. I don't know how many times after every game. I went to his office and talked with him, talk with him, and he's showing that he ain't gonna change it. So it is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, look, I have a quote here from John Robinson. I mean, from a quote he said, I think Rishard could help this team. I told him that on several occasions, and he felt differently. He felt like he needed to move on, and that's what we done. So that was during the time where I guess you asked for a trade, and it seemed so. John Robinson did want you to remain a Tennessee Titan, correct?
Yes, of course. Okay. Yeah, John's the one who brought me there. Yeah.
Right. So, and he also said that you were, quote, at the point of no return. So you're saying there was nothing that the organization could have done that would have changed your mind about staying with the organization at this time?
No, because, you know, you gotta understand, people don't just they don't just have these behaviors. There's leading events. You know what I'm saying? Behind the scenes, all this stuff that always gets reported. There's always leading events for somebody to act the way they acting. You know what I'm saying? Right. So the Andre Johnson thing happened, right? I'm rotating with Andre. That's another leading event. coaches that come in there and think they can talk to players however they want is another leading event, and I don't do that. So I stick up for everybody. You know, like that's what I do. And so there's leading events that took place, leading small, minor BS leading events that took place to where just people think that they can control you, and I show that you can't control us type. And so when you get into that position, you're labeled as a problem. You get what I'm saying? So there's leading events that did that, and like I said, I give people strike 3. You get strike 3, they don't care. You know, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes it's a good decision or a bad decision. You gotta live with it. You know?
Yeah. So I mean, you got released. You asked for your release. You got it, and you ended up with the New York Jets.
Yes.
How was your time there? You know, did you enjoy your time with the Jets? Was it just basically a means to an end at the time? You just wanted to, you know, play ball and, you know, try to go to a team that you felt would give you an opportunity to compete? What was going through your mind at this time with the Jets?
Yeah. It was just more so you know, when I left the Titans, I was kind of done. But, you know, unfortunately, my consciousness of the NFL has ruined a lot of fun, in my opinion. I could have had a lot of fun and really impacted. Even leaving the Titans, I could have made a lot more money, but I decided to leave because, you know, I'm not going to be controlled. You know what I'm saying? And so going to the Jets was, okay, this is a 2-and-some team. But when you get there, everybody's different, man. These organizations are different behind the scenes. Like, they might think you might put out this. You go to the Jets, and guys they don't even know how to finish after a catch. And receivers don't, you know what I'm saying? Receivers ain't even going through walkthroughs, and then they're starting and things like that. And again, here comes Rishard being vocal. That's my problem. That's been my problem. I'm a very vocal person. And I say what everybody feels, not necessarily what everybody says, if that makes sense. So therefore I get to the Jets. Here comes Rishard. You know, me and my wife always laugh about it now. She's always like, "You can't ever keep your damn mouth shut. Just keep your freaking mouth shut and get this money." And I'm like, "Yeah, I mean, what do you want me to do?" You know. So I get to the Jets. I forgot what coach it was there. All the coaches are gone now. You know, obviously.
Was Ty Bowles there at the time?
Yeah, Coach Bowles was there, which is unfortunate. But he was I think he was so checked out that he already knew he was gone, I think, at the end of the season. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, but they were doing things like, you know, guys weren't doing walkthroughs and starting, and I'm like, yo, what's going on? I mean, everywhere I've been, man, when I don't play in the defense is asking, hey, bro, why aren't you in? You know what I'm saying? It's like, then there's a reason, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, people like people, you know what I'm saying? I don't know what happened with the Jets. I thought I was going to get a better opportunity. And then when I did get my opportunity, I was already sitting around for so long, and I popped my hamstring. And then at that point, it was the Houston game, I think, Christmas Eve. That really had nothing to do with nothing. I didn't get an opportunity while I was there. I was playing, and a lot of the guys didn't, but all those there's a reason they all got fired. You know what I'm saying? For that, you know, that was whack. They didn't have no leadership. They didn't have nothing over there. That was one of the worst places I've been. And I'm like, this is why. I'm like, this is why y'all losing, because y'all don't got no leadership. You know what I'm saying? I'm even looking at film like, y'all don't even know how to catch the ball and finish 10 yards. You know, what are y'all doing here? You know, and
was it the worst team you ever played for?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, wow.
All right, no question. Every team I've been on, we've been pretty, like, we've had decent guys. I've had decent players and stuff like that.
All right. Well, I mean, so did you get along with the players like Sam Darnold? I mean, did you get along with him?
I've got along with everybody. It's just been me making my own personal decisions of, just wrong decisions, but as well as right decisions in my eyes at the time. And just, I'm not a guy that's gonna go back and be like, "Oh, sorry, will you take me back? I made a decision and I'm gone." You know.
Right. I mean, so you lead the Jets and you end up. You end up coming to the New Orleans Saints, man. You get signed by the New Orleans Saints. You're going to training camp. It's the first week of preseason. You're playing against the Minnesota Vikings. I think you had a catch in that game, and that was about it. But let's go back. I mean, did you enjoy your time with the New Orleans Saints in training camp? I mean, how was that experience?
Yeah, I mean, it's the same thing too. My wife calls me stupid for leaving, but it was just, the same situation. You know, a 7-year vet goes there. You know what I'm saying? You know, I put in my time with Drew in the offseason. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm learning this. I'm gonna go there. You know, do what I got to do to solidify a spot. You know, but again, I'm about competition. So if I get there and I look at my competition, I'm like, okay, cool. I see, I see Mike. Obviously, that's that. Boom, that's a beast. You know what I'm saying? Mike is a beast. I'm like, all right, bet. Like, okay, I see why he is. However much he got paid, I see it. Like that dude is nice. You know what I'm saying? Okay, and I see Traquan. All right, bet, cool. Other than that, I'm like, all right, cool. I should be like a 3 or 4. Other than Ted Ginn. You know, Ted Ginn, like you put him in for screens and deep routes. Yeah. But again, if I would have played it out, I would have made that happen. But. Yeah. I'm seeing guys that don't even know how to, like, they're putting, like, I forgot who the names were. And this is nothing against these players or whatever, but they're putting, like, Semi Cobb. I forgot who the names of the guys were.
Semi Cobb, Emmanuel Butler.
You go through the list and you see, has they done anything that I've done leading up to that point? Now, it could have been a point where, hey, we're going to make him earn his role. All right, cool. That's fine. But give me the opportunity. So, like I said, there's behind the scenes where coaches put players in on plays during practice. You know what I'm saying? Like they go through a script and they have a script. And I felt like these guys weren't putting me in to show Coach Payton and the other people that the things that I can do. You know what I'm saying? Like I could run all the routes. I could play slot. I could do these things that Coach Payton is walking around. Whatever. I don't want to get too deep, but he's trying to find guys that can do things. And I'm like, yo, I'm sitting right here, bro. Like, what's up? Like, I've been here. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not about to, at that point, I'm taking a vet approach. Like, man, every team I've been on, when a vet comes in, they see what that vet has right away. Like that, There's been times where he jumped in front of me right away, and then he gets his reps. You get what I'm saying? Even in preseason games. Right. So, mind you, it was nothing horrible. So we get to the preseason game, and I already know I got to go down there and special teams. I'm already set my mind up for all that stuff. Like, I'm not gonna get in until probably like the third or fourth quarter. Like, okay, cool. Right. Like, that's what's up, But I should be getting in with the second group. You get me? Because after Mike and Traquan and them come out, I should be going in. You get what I'm saying? So that didn't happen. So they were putting these youngsters in, and I'm like, man, what's up? What are y'all doing? Like, I get it. But then I'm doing that, and I'm paying attention. Certain things, like I said, certain things behind the scenes were happening where the receiver coach, I know I've been there. Since my third year, I've been, or fourth year, I've been taking my shoes off after halftime and wearing shoes in the preseason game. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know the deal. I know how it works, But once again, this rewind, if you're not a superstar, they don't treat you like a superstar. And that's fine. I get that. I'm all about respect. But if I'm watching the game and I know I'm not getting in and I know whatever, and I'm over here with the receivers and I got you snapping your fingers at me talking about, look at the iPad. Right. Yo, hey, look at the iPad. That's strike one. Who you talking to? First off, I'm not one of these youngsters that ain't never caught a pass in the league. That's strike one. Okay, if I know I'm not getting in the game, right? This is actual events. I'm not just making anything up. If I know I'm not getting in the game and I got you snapping your fingers talking about, hey, follow me right here, get behind me on the sideline, because that's what the receiver, whatever. But if I know I'm not getting in the game, bro, it's the first quarter, second quarter. I'm not getting in right now. You know what I'm saying? You still got your starters in. I get that. I understand how the process goes. Right. That's strike two. You get what I'm saying? And then strike three, we won't talk about that. But the strike three happened, then I just made a decision there. I was like, man, I'm not about to, because this coach was already annoying me and like talking to me during practice and saying things that like was annoying me, like, bro, that like that's the shit that you tell younger players and stuff like that. And
are you talking about wide receiver coach Curtis Johnson?
I don't. There's two of them.
Okay, Curtis Johnson.
He's the older one, right?
Yeah, he's the older guy.
Then it'd be him.
The black guy. Yeah, Yeah, but I mean, look.
I think that I only remember the abbreviation. It was the AC. Was the other guy?
Okay. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. I get what you're saying.
But it was the older dude, Johnson. Then it was him. I was just like, he was cool, like in the room and stuff like that. But his vibe to me was kind of like, I don't like when people tell me oh, I didn't know you could do that, or oh, we didn't know you could do that, or that tells me that you didn't do your research. You didn't do your research. I don't care if you come to my team. I'm gonna do my research if I'm trying to make But unfortunately, I was the Saints. They're good with or without me. You feel me? So it was like they wasn't worried about. You know what I'm saying? Like they had their guys. Like, and at the end of the day, that's why they had to struggle with. Not to say nothing, but they didn't really have nobody after Mike and Traquan that could really do something for them. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, yo, I'm right here for y'all, but you guys want to play games, and I could have held my tongue and whatever, but I was like, I didn't know how that older guy, Coach Johnson, right?
Yeah,
I
Curtis
didn't
Johnson.
know how he was going to react the rest of the preseason. I got kind of a temper problem, so I was like, and then my wife was like, and my wife could tell I was very like upset and like. Even the way I would be with my kids and stuff like that. She's like, you need to pick if you want to keep playing football or not. So I made a decision. And it wasn't based off of the Saints or nothing. It was just based off of like I was over the NFL at that time. Yeah. And I feel when in all those situations, I feel that you don't owe it to nobody. I mean, people might disagree with this, but if I feel like we're the ones that make the league and stuff like that, I don't owe it to nobody to go say nothing to them. Maybe the coaches that I really care for in that organization, I can say whatever. But at that time, I don't owe it to even the Titans. I called John and whatever. I didn't owe nobody to go. I called John because Robinson because I was telling him because I felt he brought me in there or whatever. Mm-hmm. I didn't owe it to anybody to go say anything to them. They're gonna be fine. We get too big of ourselves that I gotta go talk to this person. Man, they don't care if you leave or stay. That was the end of the day. I got my ticket and went home. It was good. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So what am I going to do? I'm going to tell you I'm going to leave. You're just going to say, all right, thank you, and a handshake? Yeah. What is that? Showing respect? What is that? I don't, it is what it is. I'm out. I ain't got no problem talking to nobody. I'm not scared to go, like, I didn't face my, whatever. I'm not scared of none of that. Yeah. I've proven that throughout my career, but, it was time to go home. And that was it.
Yeah, I mean, and Coach Payton, when he was asked about it, he said, quote, it's not for everybody. Would there be a reason why Sean Payton would say that about you, that it's not for everybody?
I don't think Coach Payton he cared about me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think Coach Payton cared that I was there or not there. You feel me? So he had times where, we could have engaged and talked and got to know each other. But, sometimes, like I said, and I've been very conscious about this stuff. If you ain't scoring no touchdowns, don't nobody care about you till you score touchdowns. I've had owners walk straight past me in hallways and don't say nothing, and all of a sudden I go score it, and and the next they all want to shake my hand the next time they see me. You get what I'm saying? It's like, so it is what it is. Coach Payton, he could, it ain't for everybody, whatever. He don't, he don't care. It is what it is. So he is who he is. He doing his thing. He wearing J's. He wearing J's in the game, and he know what they're doing. These white folks know what they're doing to be in positions to you know what I'm saying, control our mental. But it is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, so not every owner that you've been, I guess every owner that you've played for, all of them walk past you, or just one in particular? Was there like a certain
that's ever talked to me was Amy Adams? I think that's her name, and that was the Tennessee Titans.
Wow.
Amy's the only one. And I don't know if it's because she was and her brothers and stuff like that, but I don't know if it's because she was, taking over the organization, you know what I'm saying, for her dad, I think, and or if that just was her character, because she was just super nice and all the time, like, saying what's up to everybody, hi, whatever. But I mean, and I walked past all the owners, and there's nothing against them. They got a whole bunch of stuff going on, but they don't, man. Dude, it's $1 billion.
So you feel like the money that you're helping to generate their organization, they should have showed a little bit more love to you than they did. Correct.
I would say not just to me. This is not just directed to me. I'm saying that there's not a lot that everybody ain't Drew Brees. Everybody ain't Mike Thomas. You know what I'm saying? Everybody will have their own stories about this. But I was real big on knowing guys on the team's names and where they're from that weren't even going to make the team. Like, you could tell who's not going to make the kicker, the third, fifth string kicker on the, you know what I'm saying? Like, or whatever, I was real big into that. That showed true character. You get what I'm saying? That showed true, I don't know the word I'm looking for, but that showed realness. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
In locker room. So, like, throughout the years, that's what made me kind of, I guess, turn into what I turned into.
Yeah. I mean, so it seemed like to me, and we'll just I got to talk about this, and then I'll just ask you this question. But finally, man, I mean, you went to Instagram when it was all said and done, and you announced your retirement. And I just want to pull up a few things that you actually mentioned, you know, in your quote. There's, your title no longer exists. It says, beating your body up over and over for a group of people that give out a small percentage of their earnings, the brainwashing and dividing of cultures for a small piece of jewelry, being around too much ego to even understand that someone has the same skin color as you, people using me for entertainment and not understanding that I'm a black man in America, being around just pure fakeness, all the people that never talk to you but want to hit you up for tickets. So, I mean, it seemed like to me, like, Rishard, it seemed like to me like you were really, excuse my friends, pissed off, you know what I'm saying, with a lot of things. It seemed like you had an idea of what the NFL was.
Let me ask you this. Mm-hmm. Am I wrong for anything I said? Would you disagree with anything I'm saying?
Well, a couple things I can't relate to. I mean, you're a professional football player. I've never been inside the locker room. I will concede to you on that, you know, but I do feel like they are culturally clueless when it comes to a lot of things. I think that's pretty aware, right? Everybody pretty much aware of that right now. But you know, I do think that you have a valid point about some of the things that you're saying, you know, but I do want to say this, and I think that this is time like for, you know, tell you why I put out the video. I felt as if like looking at, like, I didn't know you at the time. I know you now, but I felt like at the time, like just looking and researching the stop that you made and how things panned out, I felt like, you know, a lot of the things were kind of toxic, man. You know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, if I'm your homeboy, right? And let's just say I dated like 3 chicks, right? And you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, man, you know what I'm saying? Like, this ain't working out. You know, sometimes you have to look at the common denominator, which is you. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you have to look at yourself and say, maybe something that I am not doing that I need to fix. You know what I'm saying? So I did feel, because honestly, I felt like you were going to make the team. I'm going to be honest with you, because what you had, I really felt, because all of the reports were like, everybody was saying how good you were doing in training camp. And at the same time, I felt like you had a skill set that the Saints were missing. They didn't have since they had Willie Snead or since they had Lance Moore. I feel like you were a move the sticks type receiver. And I felt like by you leaving so quickly, I just felt like you kind of just, you know, messed your chances up of making the team, because I really felt like you were going to make the team. Reading all the reports.
Absolutely. I was going to make the team. I never not made a team. But like I said, there's behind the scenes events. So having those, you know, the younger dudes taking all the reps and practice that I should have been taking led up to my decision, kind of like of fed upness, because I'm thinking, okay, I'm coming to this team that's they go in the playoffs every year. Like, they ain't got time for BS. You know what I'm saying? Right. Like, if I come in there, like, they trying to gel, do their thing right away. These kids ain't making the team at all. Like, I'm not trying to be bad, but like, they don't even know how to run a basic route and come downhill or during different coverage. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, they don't know how to keep a route high or flat, whatever. So I'm like, okay, and that's nothing against them. They're young. They're their first year in the league or whatever. A couple guys second year or whatever. But I'm saying, okay, cool. So when are we gonna, you know what I'm saying? Like, y'all working me in there too, but you kind of just are working me in there to do like certain things, and I'm like, that's fine, but these guys get a lot of reps in front of me. Like, man, what's going on? You know what I'm saying? Like, you give me the reps every period. I'm getting the reps at the end of the period. You know what I'm saying? When it's only like Teddy and Taysom in or something like that. You know what I'm saying? It's there's nothing wrong with that. But what are these youngsters doing that I'm not doing? You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't got time for that. You know what I'm saying? Like, what's up? What are we trying to do here? You know? And but like you said, if I would have waited it out, you would have
made the team. I'm sorry. Like, I look. The skill set that you possess and the fact that the guys that I know that you were competing against in 2019, I think the only person that really just kind of stands out is Deontay Harris. You know, like, and he's like a special terms. I mean, he's a special teams guy.
I forgot about him. Yeah. He was
But besides that, Emmanuel Butler is no longer with the team. Simi Cobb is no longer with the team. And like I said, the skill set that you possess, they've been missing it. And in some ways, they still haven't found it yet. So I was a little bit upset, and you know what I'm saying. I really, like I said, I didn't know you at the time, and you know what I'm saying. Like just reading and doing the research, I just felt that way, you know. But like I said, I think that you make some valid points back to where you're talking about no longer exists. Let's talk about, you know, the fact that you're talking about fakeness in the National Football League. I mean, is there like a player or people that you just came in contact with that you just wasn't feeling, or you know, that just killed your passion, man?
That's the common denominator of you're saying the toxicness. You know, it's once I identify that, I become I guess toxic, if you want to use toxic, because like I said, I become the problem. You get what I'm saying? Where when you go in this league, all these guys, they don't have a choice. They don't have a choice to be. It's like I said, the only example I can give is the Kaepernick situation, right? Everybody started going against it, whatever, cool. But how much are you willing to go to have somebody's back in that type of sense, right? People who look like us, we're not those white boys in the locker room. Nothing against them, but if something happens, they gonna all have each other's back. Trust me. You get what I'm saying? But you know, us, there's so many of us that we're all they divide us. You get what I'm saying? Where you know, and I was getting to the point in my career where I was trying to even show the youngsters that I had rental cars that, you know, I had the point where dudes were telling me, like, it was just a whole bunch of things that were happening. Dudes were telling me, like, man, like, I would just show up in like a regular old fit, you know. I wasn't really tripping. Like, yeah, I had a nice little comfortable chain, but I'm not iced out. I'm not doing a whole bunch of things because I'm trying to show these youngsters that don't have money, like, hey, don't waste your money on this. I almost went broke. My sister, luckily she got me in check, but I went broke on trying to keep up with people and stuff like that. Oh, I almost went broke trying to keep up with people, you know. And those are things that I was doing. Like one of the guys, I won't say his name, but I showed up to the plane just wearing just something regular, like from like I think I went to like TJ Maxx or something. Got me something, whatever. Like I don't care. You riding in the plane and you taking it off right when you get to the hotel. But we get so caught up in thinking. Because they tell you, oh, you got to dress like class. You got to dress with, like class. But what does that mean? You got to dress like class. I guess, yes, what does that mean? But what does that mean when the white person is telling us we have to dress like class? You get what I'm saying? Like, if you really want to dig deep into it. So I would just wear regular, stuff, or I would have, a rental car that, that was regular. And he said, hey, man, you the star receiver on the team. Why you looking like that? You know, so it was little things like that, and I don't want to go too deep, but I don't really holidays and stuff. I don't celebrate holidays. I don't like holidays. My wife does, and we do it for the kids, obviously, but I don't really believe in holidays. So that became a problem. You know, it was a whole bunch of stuff leading up into it, man. Like,
is it for religious purposes or anything like that? Or just,
I'm agnostic. I don't believe in. I'm agnostic, and that's another thing in the Saints. What's his name was like a reverend or deacon too. So anyways, there's a whole bunch of things that kind of like made it uncomfortable, and just like I was just like, man, I ain't got time for this. Like I was comfortable with the money I made. And I was like, man, I'm going home to my kids and raise my kids. So that was really
I mean, final question for you.
I told you it was gonna be, you know what I'm saying?
I mean, I just wanted to make sure that, you get your story out there, and let everybody know, because I do understand, like, sometimes the media can kind of, put a narrative about you out there that's not accurate, and I think it's fair that people understand, your mind frame and your thoughts that led to this decision. And I mean, did the NFL like just kill your passion for football? That would be my final question to you. Did it kill it? Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. I wouldn't say it killed it. In like I said, having a kid now, nobody, my pops used to tell me, like, I always had a problem with authority, but my dad was like a master sergeant in the Marine Corps. Really strict. You had strict rules for make your bed a certain way, do this, do that, can't go out, certain things. And like I said, if it didn't make sense to me, I'm like, and I, as I got older, it's like, bro, why you like, everybody else, what I'm saying? Like, if it doesn't make sense, I didn't have a problem voicing it. So,
like I said, do you think the fact that your dad was so strict with you when you were young, did it affect you as an adult that you was like, man, bump this. You know what I'm saying? I ain't taking another 18 years of this nonsense.
Well,
You know
yeah.
what I'm saying? So you think that may be something to think about?
It was just more so, and I saw you have a young son right now. It's just more
man.
teaching them how to operate. So I wish I would have been taught, like I'm going to teach my kids that, hey, nothing else matters. Go get your money, have fun, and get out, because you can't play forever, right? So sometimes when you get in there and you think, oh man, this, that, and the third, like, no, I'm doing what's right. When you think you're doing something that's right, it's really wrong in a closed quarters. You get what I'm saying? So you might think you're saying the right thing or speaking out on the right thing, but when people got a whole $1 billion business to uphold and other cats got other stuff on the line, you think, man, yeah, he feels the same way as me. Yeah, he, like I said, he might feel the same way as me. But the only thing is, I'm speaking the feelings and you keeping the feelings to yourself. You get me? And that's what. So the NFL kind of showed me that and kind of killed my passion for football. But as well as I killed my passion for football also. So it was kind of about probably 70-25. You know, but like I said, you know, I wish somebody would have taught me along the way that the ropes of it, because it's a lot of fugazi stuff that goes on behind, in between game days and all this stuff and all those people, you know. So yeah.
Any regrets?
Yeah, of course. Regrets leaving the Saints, because I would have stayed and hopefully, you know, maybe been, you know, whatever. Who knows? You know, who knows what I would have with Drew, man. I mean, I always wanted a guy that can give me the ball like that, but you know, who knows? But and then Tennessee, I would have made a lot more money because I missed out on millions, you know, leaving there. But I regret it. But if I, you know, I wouldn't say I would. I don't know if I would have changed my mind, you know, if I would go back and do it differently. I don't know at this point, because I feel like I felt like there's really no winner or loser, but at the same time, I wasn't about to let these people walk all over me and act however they wanted towards me. You know, treat me like they wouldn't treat their own kid. You know what I'm saying? I treat people like I would treat my own kid and family. You know what I'm saying? And if I feel like you wouldn't even act like that to your own, then you ain't gonna act like that to me. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's the problem. You know, that's where I got in trouble. So,
So, have you found happiness? You know, outside of football?
Yeah, man. Of course. I mean, football is one portion of life, man. I mean, you that's why I'm saying, you know, I wasn't taught how to take advantage of that portion. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes kids, guys get in football and they think it's forever. They think it's, I got 10 years, man. I feel good. I got 10 years. Nah, man, you better just have fun. Appreciate the time that you're in there right now. The friendships, all that stuff, all the good stuff that comes with it. Take advantage of the sources that they have. They have so many sources that you can reach out to and take advantage of. Take advantage of all that stuff. You know, but you know, I definitely, you know, that was my life. That was a long time ago. So that was 2 years ago. But I mean, I got kids now, man. I got a future. I got to, you know, take care of and stuff like that. Football is what it is. That was just a portion, you know, of my life.
Yeah. Well, man, I'm glad that you found happiness, man, and I thank you so much for telling your story here on the State of the Saints podcast. And you know, hopefully, man, people will get some clarity and understanding about, you know, how you felt. And I get it, man. You know, when you're passionate about something, you have love for something, and it seems like you have those outside forces that are prohibiting you from reaching that full potential, man. It can become discouraging, you know. But I'm glad that you found, you know, passion, you know, outside ventures, your children. And I definitely can relate to that, man. You know, I have a 1-year-old son, like you said, you know, and I have a wife, and, you know, those are the things that drive me. And I'm glad that you found something outside of football to drive you, man. Rishard, thank you so much, man.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the biggest thing to come out of this, man, is that people, you know, they're probably going to be like, well, you know, the NFL, you know, you're making millions, but that's the difference. I was able to make those decisions. Yeah, if I'm in the outside world where I have a job that's just the only thing providing, all right, that's different. You know what I'm saying? But we have so much power in the NFL that we don't even understand that we have there, you know, because they're keeping us blinded of it, you know? And so I was able to act on what I wanted to act on and do it how, whatever, right, wrong, or indifferent. But you got to, you know, you make way with your choices and you move forward, man. But I appreciate you. Yeah, the video was interesting, man. I usually don't even reach out to people that even say anything, but
I was mad, man. I'm sorry. I was mad because I just
yeah.
didn't understand it. Like every report, Rishard had you making this team. Like you were the standout. Like I'm listening to local radio WWL down in New Orleans. They're talking about you. NOLA.com. They're talking about who stood out in training camp. Like your name was coming up quite often, and I was like, this is what we need. You know what I'm saying? Because I was like, I'll go back and I was, looking at some of the things that you do. I'm like, man, we haven't had a guy that can move the sticks like this. And, you know what I'm saying? You talk about your blocking ability. We haven't had that since Willie Snead. Lance Moore, man, like a guy that can just move the sticks like this. So your skill set was like perfect. So when I put it on wax, I was upset, man. But, you know what I'm saying? And I like I said, I will concede, I did not know you at the time. But, I mean, I sitting here, listening to you speak and seeing your journey, I understand you a lot better. And I think a lot of people do too. I feel like there's some things that, honestly, they could have changed, in my opinion. Some things possibly could have done, and also with the organizations too. But nevertheless, man, I mean, I'm glad that you found happiness.
And all that is, if I would have kept my mouth shut, then I would have been fine. That's what everybody does. They keep their mouth shut and they're good. Everybody has a story, man. Everybody that has they keep their mouth shut and they're fine. Same thing like Tom Brady and what's it called? If he would have had a problem with not playing or whatever the case may be, he was a 7th rounder too. But he kept his mouth shut and he was fine. You know what I'm saying? Along the whole way, he kept his mouth shut. And then he waited 20 years down the road to actually open up his mouth. You get what I'm saying? It's like, if I would have did that, then yes. But, it is what it is. But, yeah, I think, especially in the run game, I block well and things like that. They're missing a receiver that can go down there and actually get after it. That's why they had to use Taysom so much when they didn't have to use him to block. And I feel like I would have had like that type of role, But
I just felt maybe they didn't know what those other young guys had, and maybe they knew what they had in you. I mean, I don't know. Maybe they were trying to. Could have been. Have you seen situation? I hate for did you keep going on? I'm not trying to wrap it up, but like, have you seen situations like that where teams like, man, let me see this young cat, a few more times, because they probably already know what you got. They seen the tape, they seen the film.
That was my thing. I never saw that. Every time a guy comes in there, they play right away because they got to get the gel. So that's what made me so even more like, man. And then that was my last, like, kind of like, man, I was already on the edge of not wanting to play in the league anymore. And I'm like, man, okay, I'm going to Saints. They ain't about to play no games. Boom, let's get it. Boom, we here. Like, whatever. All right, cool. Right. But then it started happening like that. And I'm like, heck no. Like, what are y'all? But that's what I'm saying. Every time a guy came in there, he's played right away. Boom. Like, they put him in and at least to see what he has, so they don't waste it. So they don't waste the young guys, They see what he has, and then they go, all right, if you got it, you got it. If you don't, at least we still got these young guys, But it is what it is, man. But I appreciate you, though.
Yeah, man. Thank you so much, man. Thank you for being a part of the State of Saints podcast. And, man, feel free to come back anytime, man. I really enjoyed you. And I know a lot of members of the Who Dat Nation are going to enjoy your interview and enjoy your story, man. So thank you so much.
Yeah, man. No problem. Appreciate you having me. Nothing but love. Man, keep being an amazing father, man, and take care.
All right, you too, man. Take care.
All right, peace.
Yeah.